Hi everyone, my name is Rishad. Today is the 4th of December 2023 and I'm going to be making my weekly prediction for SPY. Of course, this video is taken early in the morning so that the prediction is still valid before the market actually opens. But so I will be making this prediction now. So before getting into the video, it's important to make the disclaimer that all information is completely educational and therefore it's important to conduct your own analysis before entering a position in the market to ensure minimal losses and take whatever amount of risk you're comfortable with. But regardless, do not go ahead taking any positions purely off of this information, and I would strongly advise you conduct your own analysis before entering a market. Now, with that out of the way, let's go through the monthly charts, which have had a very interesting development since last time. Obviously, since the month of November ended, we can see just how bullish it's been. The last 2 months' bearish movement has been completely negated, and even the bullish movement has taken the price above that low. And we can see from here that obviously we can't predict on December yet, but November has just been a extremely strong bullish month. And if we go to the weekly charts, we can see that every single candle has been green. So it's made pretty much a Marubozu candle. And actually it's made a Marubozu candle, so we can see there's almost no wick on either end. It's just pure bullishness and on relatively normal volume. However, it's pulled back to the trend line, whatever price movement had deviated from it. And now we can strongly say that the monthly trend is up because it's negated the bearish movement and the price is now again moving upwards. And this is also confirmed by the RSI, since the RSI average is tilting upwards and so is the RSI as well. Now, let's go to the weekly charts where we can see this in more detail. And like mentioned before, we can see just how bullish this month has been, since every single week had a green candle. Now, we can see now, obviously the volume had been declining until last week. That's why the range was quite large. And this week, although on much higher volume, we can see that it still hasn't penetrated any range. So immediately, the prediction still stands from last week. Like, we're going to keep the same range. Since it is already really close to 459.42, we will keep this as the resistance, since it is a long-term resistance. And if it does end up breaking it, then we have a strong buy signal. But after this much bullish movement, if the market is to come down, then we will keep the support at 450.70, again, far away, just to be safe and not get caught by any whipsaws. So this is what we gained from the weekly charts. And if you look at the RSI, we can see the average is still going down, but it's just starting to tilt up. And the RSI has crossed its average and is soaring above. So the average is going to soon follow. Finally, for the technical analysis part, let's head to the daily charts. Now, we can see that the volume was declining last week, but this week we've had an increase in volume, a steady increase actually, since every single day the volume has been going up. So whatever upwards movement that we made in the weekly charts, it is confirmed by the volume in the daily charts. However, the RSI is now in the overbought zone, and its average is almost at the overbought zone too, since it's at 69.89, which is 0.11 points away from being overbought. So this is something we're going to have to take into consideration as well. Since if the market is overbought, then there's a high probability that it gets sold, and then you could see a downwards decline, which is why we have a slightly more conservative range, since if this is to happen, then we have protection in case, the bulls rally again. So this wraps up the technical analysis part of this video. And let's now switch over to the Excel sheet where we can review this week's prediction. Obviously, last week there was no trade since it didn't break any support or resistance. And this week we have a similar prediction. Since it's no trade yet, we wait for the breakout. We buy when it crosses the high or the resistance at 459.42. Sell when it falls below the support at 450.70 with a target of 1% throughout the week. And the trailing stop loss. If the target or stop loss is not hit, then we take the closing price on Friday if the position is open. Now the max OI for the weekly expiry is 460 for CE at 32,065 and 440 for PE at 52,270. So both have gone up since last week. And the PCR is 2.47. Now for the monthly expiry, we can see that the CE is still the same at 440 at 71,916 and 420 for PE at 128,255. So the values are the same, although the open interest has declined very minimally. And the PCR is 2.30. And we can now confidently say that the weekly trend is up and the monthly trend is definitely up. Obviously, if there are any changes to this prediction, they will be covered on the channel. But for the most part, this is all for this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.